everybody, can I please have your attention? We'd like to get started. Remarkably, this is our first chapel meeting of the winter term, so I wanted to formally congratulate our girls soccer team on their New England championship. Remarkable accomplishment. They won 2 road games. They were the 5 seed. They beat the top seed in the semifinals, and then they won a neutral site game in the finals. So great job, girls. Also, congratulations to the students who participated in the Model UN event in Boston last weekend. Thanks to Mr. Regal for advising them, and I know that was a very positive experience for a group of Suffield students. Today, Giselle is going to share some comments about our charity-raising telethon, which will be at the end of this term. For those new to Suffield, you'll learn about the event. It's extremely well choreographed and detailed, and it involves a lot of students and faculty in the event. We will then hear from this group of seniors. Carolyn Greco will be first, and after Henry White speaks, you will be dismissed. Giselle. One final thing, if you're an international student and you need your passport for the extended weekend, which begins on Thursday, Ms. Rapoli will be giving them out at dinner tomorrow night in the dining room.
Hey Suffield, I hope all of you are having a great start to your week. If not, just keep going. Long weekend is right around the corner. This year, we are fortunate enough to bring back one of the biggest fundraising events. This school-wide event is known as Telethon. Telethon showcases the many talents of the Suffield community while raising money for our school charity, Youth Development. This means that students, faculty, children, literally everyone, expresses their talent and showcases it. Everyone is involved, from the fans sitting and watching in person, to the people performing or sharing a video, to the camera crew. It is one of the best events of the year. But you may be asking, what makes this event so special? It's you all, with your funny videos, secret talents, outstanding voices. Paige August, I'm looking at you. All of your ideas come to life in this 3-hour event. Telethon will take place on March 3rd, but we need to start preparing during this time. If you would like to participate but do not have any idea of what you would like to showcase, you can gain inspiration from previous telethon events that are uploaded on YouTube. Some examples of previous acts and videos are dance numbers, team highlights, a day in the life of a skier, The Bachelor, science experiments, the list goes on and on. You will receive an email in the next day or two with more information about the event and the process. It takes all of us to make this event the best it can possibly be. Trust me, this event brings the whole community together, and it is one you won't want to miss. You can sign up now by emailing me, Lauren Britton, Lauren Egan, or Hope Clark, along with the talent you plan to showcase. Thank you, and enjoy chapel.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Greco, and I'm a 4-year senior from West Hartford, Connecticut. I've been told my whole entire life that it's crazy how close my brothers and I are to our cousins. We grew up with them, spending almost all of our childhood with them. The 7 of us have been inseparable our whole lives, and that's created a bond like no other. They have made me who I am, and I would like to share how they did that. Starting with the oldest by 7 years, my cousin Jay. When we were younger, my brothers would act as older brothers do, and he would always stand up for me. He would ask me to join their games, anything from Legos to Nerf gun fights. Jay has always been the cousin we look up to. We are envious of how independent he was from such a young age. Although he went from boarding school to college to Texas to Florida, he's always made time for us. His work ethic and independence are qualities that I try to embody, but I especially love how he's still able to spend time with us. In his busy schedule, he makes time for those he loves, which pushes me to want to do the same. Shaylin. Growing up, I always wanted a big sister. Someone to give me advice and to help me with anything I needed. As we got older, Shaylin became that person for me. I will text her while she's at college and ask her questions only an older sister could answer, and she always knows just what to say. She has an overwhelming kindness for everyone around her. She would be sent on hundreds of errands by her parents and never once complained. Before I had my license, she would drive me anywhere I asked. She's the big sister I always wanted, and she makes me want to be a better person, one who never complains and is always there for the people she loves. Michael. Michael and I still argue. His favorite activity since I was born has been to annoy me, and he knows just how to do it. Ever since we were little, he would constantly try to make me upset, yet somehow still make me laugh at the same time. When he would drive me to school, I would rant to him about the life-ending drama that happened that day, and he would surprisingly listen. Then tell me I was being dramatic and find the silver lining. One day, I just started sobbing after a long day, and he was the only one that made me feel better. His constant positivity is something I strive to have. His ability to let nothing bother him is something I'm working hard to accomplish. Stephen. Although our whole childhood was filled with us fighting, he has always been there for me. His strength is one that is unmatched, and one that I fight to have even a little of. He uses his strength in protecting me. In second grade, this boy that sat behind me on the bus would tap my shoulder, then slap me in the face when I turned around. Yes, I am aware of how absurd that sounds, but nevertheless, as an 8-year-old, that was very traumatizing. One day, Stephen went up to him and said something that I still don't know to this day, and that I never got slapped again. Stephen's strength and willingness to protect me has always made me strive to be a little bit stronger and protect those I love no matter what. Katie. She's always been there for me. We are extremely different, that made us even closer. One Halloween, we were standing in front of the mirror, looking at our costumes, dancing, and she pushes me out of the way and says, "This isn't about you," and continues to dance. Although Katie likes to be the center of attention, she will still listen to me rant for hours and always be on my side, but be able to tell me when I'm wrong. Katie will drop everything for me no matter what. Her ability to be my best friend and cousin all in one makes our relationship so special. Her unwavering honesty has helped keep me on track and grounds me every single day. I would be nowhere without her. Benny. As the youngest, I decided I would give you a little advice. 1. As cliche as it sounds, take full advantage of everything Suffield has to offer. Join clubs, go to every game, especially girls' varsity squash games, and hang out every Saturday night. These 4 years will be over in a blink of an eye, so embrace every moment as if it's almost over, because it is. 2. Yes, another cliche, but live in the moment and learn from the people around you. I never expected to change as much as I did at Suffield, and I never expected for my 6 cousins to have shaped me as much as they have. But by living each moment, I've been able to learn from them and grow into who I am today. 3. Take advantage of the time you have with your loved ones. After watching Jay, Shaylin, Michael, and Stephen go off to college, I've realized how much I needed them in my life and how much their absence has affected me. But I've learned to make the best of each moment when they're there and to love and laugh as we have our whole lives. I would be nowhere without these 6 people, the huge family trips, the Sunday dinners, the countless traditions. These 6 people have molded me into who I am, and they're the 6 people that I will always be able to rely on. I love them with all my heart, and I want to thank them for being there for me no matter what. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ella Miller, and I am a 4-year senior from Suffield, Connecticut. For those of you who don't know me, I have lived in town my whole life growing up with 2 older brothers. We have been raised as a close-knit family, and playing sports has always been a huge part of my life. As I reflected on what I wanted to talk about at my senior chapel, despite my love for sports, never in a million years could I have imagined myself standing up here talking about soccer. However, the time I spent with my soccer team this past fall is something that I will always cherish. Ironically, what has been so impactful to me is not all about the sport of soccer or about winning the championship, which, believe me, was awesome. What I will cherish the most are the experiences with the people, the friendships and relationships I built with my teammates and my coaches. Flashback to the summer leading into my senior year. This is when us seniors decided we wanted to make our last year of soccer a memorable season. Of course, our goal was to work hard and to be successful on the field, but we wanted to make the experience different for ourselves and our teammates. We wanted it also to be fun. One of the challenges we would face was becoming a team with many new players. Many of us didn't know each other well because of last year's COVID non-season, or just because we had new faces to Suffield Academy in general. However, we had a team that was representative of one of the best traits of Suffield Academy, a diverse group of us from different backgrounds and in some cases, different cultures and countries. It was going to be important to create a very inclusive environment, one that everyone felt comfortable in. Luckily, all of us seniors had played together for the past 4 years, and all of us Suffield residents have been together since we were 8 and playing for Coach Sullivan over that same time. With every captain's practice, we made it a goal to create a bond with the underclassmen, making them feel comfortable and prepared for the upcoming season. As the season started, there were many ups and downs and injuries. However, it was becoming apparent we were all developing close relationships both on and off the field. Unlike any other team I had been a part of in all the years I've played sports, we were developing a real sense of chemistry. We all genuinely rooted for each other to be successful. There were no egos or sense of entitlement on our team. Every game, the energy on the bench was amazing. Everyone was standing, cheering, and screaming for every player, regardless how much playing time each of us got. I will always cherish the countless memories we made over the course of the fall. Of course, my favorite part of game day was where we would all gather in the hallway, drinking our Celsius, doing our hair, and blasting music loud enough so all of Tisch could hear us. The energy that we carried together as a team was what created our motivation to work hard. This put us above all teams. Then, there's the moments we would all laugh about the endless amounts of laps Coach made us run during practice whenever he was mad at us, which was basically all the time. I do strongly believe, though, that these laps did help keep our team in check, reminding us to work harder. Lastly, the turning point of our season, the tournament. We would wake up every day for morning practices and then proceed to take an exam later that day. We were all exhausted, but not once did anyone give up or stop trying because that's the type of team we were, never letting any setbacks stand in our way. We took it one game at a time, and eventually we ended up in the finals. Everyone on the soccer team knows what I mean when I say that the last bus ride was and will always be a moment I will never forget. Going in as the underdogs and thinking about all the obstacles we faced leading up to this moment gave us the winning mentality. When the whistle blew, our team gathered, jumping up and down, hugging each other, and for the first time, we broke Coach Sullivan as he was also shedding a couple tears. As I look back on the season, I realized we were following the shared values of Suffield Academy: respect for each other, hard work, and most of all, kindness to one another. I truly believe the reason we were so successful on the field was because of the relationships we had built with each other off the field. This season and this team was truly unique. First off, I want to thank Mrs. Patterson and Coach Sullivan for the devotion they gave to our team on a daily basis. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you to my teammates for allowing me to be my true self around you. Thank you to all my teachers, coaches, friends, Suffield Academy faculty, and my advisor, Mrs. Bashaw. You all truly helped create my Suffield experience. I also want to thank my grandparents for showing up to every game and providing their endless support through my ups and downs, and my brothers for being my #1 motivators and role models. I don't know where I would be without you both. Lastly, I want to thank my parents who have guided me through the last 4 years of high school. Mom, you are my emotional support system, and I genuinely couldn't imagine my life without you. You have led me down the right path and have given me the best advice in order to be the greatest version of myself. Dad, you have pushed me past my limits in both academics and athletics, and I truly appreciate that. Without you both, I wouldn't have known what I'm capable of and been able to find the strength to reach my goals. As I reflect on my time at Suffield Academy, I can say that these past 4 years have been filled with many great memories, a number of challenges that I have had to navigate, and countless life lessons that I will take with me well beyond SA. Suffield Academy is truly a great place, and the core values I have learned by being a part of this community will benefit me for years to come. Thank you.
Hi Suffield, my name is Hannah Skowski, and I'm a 4-year senior from Somers, Connecticut. Flashback 4 years ago, 14-year-old me walked through the doors of Tisch Fieldhouse for orientation freshman year, and it was the scariest day of my life. Frightened to start this new chapter in my life, as I was transitioning out of the school I had attended for the past 10 years, I had no idea what the future would bring to me. However, under all that fear was excitement, hoping that the next 4 years would be everything that my tour guide raved to me about, and I could not wait. Initially, I found Suffield to be challenging. I had to make my own friends and figure out how to balance life at Suffield on my own. I struggled academically as I was trying to keep up with the pace of work, as I did not know how far behind I was from the rest of my classmates because of my past school academic experiences. I was constantly going for extra help and still feeling discouraged when receiving my assignments back. In these moments of doubt, doubting myself and what I could accomplish, I would think of my parents and continue to work hard and persevere. My parents are the most determined people I know, and I look up to them daily. When my mom was 12, she immigrated to the United States from Poland with her mom and dad, leaving her 2 older sisters behind. My mom and grandparents arrived in America with the plan of staying with my aunt until they have saved up enough money to buy a place of their own. In the meantime, my mom was occupied with being in school and learning English, as she did come to the U.S. only knowing how to count to the number 3. My mom was persistent through it all by balancing school, learning English, and helping to save money by assisting my grandma in cleaning houses. Only a year later, my mom could understand and speak fluent English. With this benefit, my mom had to grow up early. She would make appointments for my grandparents, pay bills, talk to insurance companies, and go everywhere with her parents to translate what others would say. My mom never gave up, even in the frustration of it all. By the time she was in high school, her parents had finally saved up enough money to buy their first home in America 8 years later in East Meadow, New York. My mom attended college and received the education and lifestyle that her parents always dreamt of, the American dream. My parents met in their teenage years, and as they are very different, they are similar in many ways. My dad comes from a family of 4 who lived in Queens, New York. He grew up with parents who immigrated from Poland and spoke no English. My dad's parents made minimum wage. However, they sacrificed not having a car for my dad and uncle's education. My dad was able to go to an all-boys private school where he worked hard enough to complete his first couple of years of college and high school. When my dad entered college, he was initially going to be an electrical engineer. However, he hated it and wanted to become a doctor. His family constantly told him that he could not do it, and it was going to be too hard, but my dad never listened to his family's negative comments and went through with it. He was working a full-time job from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. at the hospital, as well as succeeding in college and then receiving his Bachelor of Science degree. From here, more people told him not to go to med school, as he would fail out, but his determination proved them wrong. He was persistent with what he believed in and graduated medical school in Poland at the age of 24. Now, he's a great physician with his own successful practice with my mom right by his side, managing the whole business. Looking back at my parents and seeing all the obstacles and doubts they had to overcome gives me hope that I can do anything through hard work and determination. By working hard in classes and not getting discouraged, I continue to do the work necessary to find success. If I ever feel like giving up or doubting myself, I know that their support, as well as their stories, give me hope to never give up on myself. Flash forward 4 years, and here I am. And let's just say, I do not know what I was so afraid of. Suffield is a place where I will look back and remember my fondest memories as a teenager with the people I love the most. This is the place where I tried new things, learned valuable life lessons, and overcame many obstacles in my academic career. It is scary to think that I will be leaving the place where I've grown into who I am today in a short 4 months. And then in 8 months, starting a new chapter of my life, college. I'm sure I will be scared again, but learning from my time at Suffield and with my parents as role models for perseverance and hard work, I know I will find my place just as I have here at Suffield. Lastly, I want to thank my friends for making my high school experience unforgettable. Mrs. Bashaw, my advisor, for always being there for me and reassuring me that everything will be okay. My teachers, thank you for always motivating, supporting, and encouraging me to do my best. And my family, who I'm extremely thankful for with everything they do for me, as well as always believing in me. Thank you.
Hi Suffield, my name is Jackson Ken and I'm a postgraduate from San Diego. This past summer, I did a 30-day wilderness excursion in Minnesota. I'd be lying if I said it was my idea, as despite the constant pleading of my parents to not let me go, I sadly still found myself having to go on this trip. Going into this trip, I didn't have any expectations of what the experience would be. I can still vividly remember sitting in a circle with the other 6 kids going on the excursion and text my mom about how upset I was that she was making me do this. The first week of the trip was rough. Not having my phone and not being able to shower only added to my initial hatred towards the experience. But as the trip progressed, I started to accept the fact that I was in this situation and should make the best of it. When I had this mindset switch, I immediately found that my time went by much faster, and I actually began to enjoy the experience. One of my favorite parts of the experience was the kayaking portion of the trip. I will always remember just how peaceful it was to be paddling on the water and taking in nature around. When the journey ended, I found myself grateful for the experience, which is something I never thought I would say in the beginning. My time at Suffield has been like my wilderness expedition, as when I came to Suffield, I was unsure of how my time here would be. I have to give a big shout out to my mentor, Tyler Milne, who really helped me adapt to Suffield and the culture around the school. Something I'm grateful for is how inclusive the Suffield community has been. I felt like a part of the community since the first day of school. I've really enjoyed my time here so far, and I'm excited to finish out the year with all of you. Finally, I want to thank my parents. I know I don't say it enough, but I'm grateful for everything you guys do for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jaden Williams. I'll be talking about my journey and my growth being here at Suffield Academy. Growth is the process of evolving into who you are becoming, rising from failure and adapting to the unknown, striving to learn without fear and reaching for the best to come. I'm a day student at the school, but my actual family lives exactly 1,801 miles away in Houston, Texas. I've had to adapt and live my life without them, and that's just part of growing up. I live with the Serafinas. A former student graduated from here last year. His name was Serafina. Me living with a different family was hard. I was so comfortable living with my own family that it was difficult for me to change. Change allows us to grow and experience new things in life. Pre-Suffield, my mom and I were driving home from school and stopped at a light. She asked me, "What do you think about going to Suffield?" Me avoiding the question for weeks said, "It's scary. Leaving you guys, and it was a risk, what I've known for so long being in Texas, going to the unknown by myself. It was just scary, just the thought of being alone and having to survive without my parents being right beside me. But I knew I had to do it, not just because of soccer and the school proportion, but be able to grow and experience new things on my own, because there's a time in your life where you have to face these challenges all by yourself, and it takes a lot of willpower to overcome these things. I've failed time and time again, whether that is with soccer, school, and even with girls, but I'm still here. We've all failed in our lives a numerous amount of times. And boarders in this room know today what it's like being away from your family. It's hard, but these hard times make us grow, and that's all life is about, growing. I've come to realize my growth and how much I've grown since I've been at Suffield. I've learned how to drive, how to grow food in a garden, and even adapt to this freezing cold weather because it's nothing like Texas. Even after Suffield, I don't want to stop growing. I want to keep growing and finding a better me. There was a line in the movie called Divergent that really caught my attention. One of the main characters in this movie, named Ford, played by Theo James, said this: "I don't want to be just one thing. I can't be. I want to be brave, selfless, honest, intelligent, and kind. I want to grow and be a better me every day." I am thankful for the opportunity that Suffield and the family that I live with has provided for me. You really have changed my life for the better. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jonah Ball, and I'm a four-year senior from East Hampton, New York. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you to two people who have helped me throughout my Suffield career. Mr. Atkins, my advisor, has been a very positive role model to me, and he has helped me to become the man I am now. Whenever I had a problem, I would wander into Mr. Atkins' office, and he would always give me great advice, so I would leave calm and collected with a new mindset. So, Mr. Atkins, thank you so much for helping me stay on the right track and showing me what was really important throughout the years. Miss Rawlings, my dorm parent for 2 years, is always there whenever someone needs help. Whether it's an English paper or life in general, she's always there sitting at her table ready to talk with cookies waiting. So Ms. Rawlings, thank you for making the dorm feel like our second home. And lastly, my parents, Mom and Dad, thank you so much for everything. You guys sacrifice everything in your life to give me a better one. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come to Suffield and grow as a person. I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything, and I promise one day I'll make it up to both of you. Today, I thought it would be a good idea to reminisce through the years and talk about each of my roommates. My 4 years at Suffield have all been very different, and that's because of my roommates. Your roommates determine how your school year is going to go, and I've been lucky enough for the most part to live a civil life with all my roommates, who have all become my really great friends. First, we begin with Luke Village Sinsall. Freshman year, Luke had no friends. He didn't talk to anyone. He would go to school, come back, play Fortnite. Go to practice, come back, play Fortnite. Go to dinner, bring it back, play Fortnite. He'd grind out 2 hours of study hall and then guess what? Play Fortnite. He even had a Fortnite girlfriend named Maddie from Florida. If he wasn't playing Fortnite, he was watching Fortnite videos. Freshman year, Luke lived and breathed Fortnite. There was even a brief time when the upperclassmen would refer to Luke as Fortnite Man. During this time in our lives, Luke and I weren't exactly friends. On more than one occasion, I may or may not have used him as a pencil dartboard when the Fortnite screaming got to be too much. Despite this rocky beginning, I knew deep down Luke might be cool someday. So I encouraged him to step away from the video games and socialize a bit more. Freshman year, Luke used to walk to class, headphones in, listening to Fortnite videos. And now he walks around like he's the king of the castle. We look back on freshman year and laugh at how much we really didn't get along, because we've become really great friends. Next up, Max Schwartz. Where do I even begin? I say this all out of love, but sophomore year Max, not unlike senior year Max, was loud, messy, and no alarm clock in the world was getting him to A period on time. At least sophomore year, he had Mrs. C, who was the most gracious and understanding woman on the planet, so there didn't need to be a repeat of his freshman year when he showed up to Mr. Bacher's physics class in a towel after getting locked out of his room. Mr. Bacher had threatened to give Max a 0 the day before, which was unfortunately just the right amount of motivation for Max to be very out of dress code. Also, at the beginning of sophomore year, Max hung up what we thought was a very tasteful poster that took up almost the entire wall. Mr. Van Dam and Miss Rawlings did not agree with our taste in art, and it quickly came down. To this day, we don't know what became of that poster, but the Sami boys of that year all assume it's still hanging in Mr. Van Dam's apartment. While living with Max sophomore year was a crazy, turbulent, and unpredictable experience that I would never do again. Max is someone who makes everything fun and enjoyable, which is important to have when school gets stressful. We've become really close friends, and I know he'll be someone who I'm friends with for the rest of my life. I look forward to all our crazy adventures. For my second year in Sami, this time as a proctor, I lived with Chris Jones. 80% of the time, I walked into our room and Chris was dead asleep. Didn't matter if it was 3 in the afternoon or the middle of study hall. The other 20% of the time, Chris could be found anywhere else in the dorm losing in a fight to Goni. Of all my roommates, Chris was definitely the most even-tempered and relaxed. We never fought or disagreed, and I definitely never felt the need to throw pencils at him. This was the year when COVID really changed life at Suffield. My friends were all in upperclassmen dorms, and I was stuck in Sami with 18 crazy sophomores, so I had no one to really relate to. But Chris became my guy during this time. We would talk and help each other out with all our problems. During a year that was academically stressful, on top of the world stress living through a pandemic, it was nice to have a roommate who I could connect with and enjoy my time in the dorm during this challenging year. And now, Fuller, the Lion's Den. Easily the best room setup I've had here at Suffield. And even though Noel and Michael are technically my roommates, I'm lucky in the fact that all of Fuller is one big community. So it's kind of like I have 40 roommates. Now, I'm a man who likes a consistent 8 hours of sleep. But in Fuller, the odds are against me in my beauty sleep. One night, I went to bed at 11, when you're supposed to, and I was out like a light. That is until I wake up to the blaring sound of gunshots blasting from my TV. I jump out of bed, and who do I see sitting on my couch? Harper Royce and Ford Carey watching the new season of Ozark while Noel is passed out on the couch. Yeah, these goons thought it was a good idea to start another episode at 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. Let's just say I was not the kindest person in that moment. And while all these instances annoy me in the short run, I always look back at these funny interactions and just laugh. While it's tough to get to sleep early, I gladly give all of that up to enjoy the company of my dorm mates, who I now consider my brothers. I'm incredibly grateful to Suffield for providing me the opportunity and environment to create friendships I'll cherish forever. Thank you.
final speech today, I wanted to share a story. A story about how, despite the odds, I managed to find myself here at Suffield Academy. Coming to Suffield as a new junior was an exciting experience for me. My friends here always talked about how much they loved it. Before I even saw the campus, I saw firsthand how Suffield develops student athletes. As a sophomore, I decided that I must apply for a repeat year and become a part of this community. After months of anticipation, the day finally came. On March 10th, 2019, I remember receiving the email from Mr. Atkins, thinking, yes, he held it down for me. I'm about to be a Tiger. But I was mistaken. I opened the email to the disappointing news. I didn't get in. The denial got to me, and it hit me hard. My stomach dropped, and I immediately felt a sharp pain in my heart as a wave of emotions set off in my mind. Embarrassment and shame took control as I contemplated what could have been. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little pissed off at Mr. Atkins. I remember telling my parents and my mentor, Coach Stack, that I was going to apply to every school but Suffield the next year. I had spent the year imagining how I would react to getting this acceptance letter. Class time was wasted thinking, wow, I can't wait to get the hell out of here. But little did I know, I was going to have to spend another long year at public school. But one day, after finishing a workout, I got a call from Coach Stack. And to my surprise, our conversation went a little like, yo, Mr. Atkins likes you. He just wants to see more from you. And he left it at that. More, I thought to myself. That call was all it took for me to change my mindset. Knowing that I had another shot at coming to Suffield, I put in more effort to improve across the board. Whether it was schoolwork, family, or basketball, I always kept in the back of my mind that I was going to become more and that I was going to come to Suffield no matter what. Fast forward a year later to March 10th, 2020, I was accepted to come as a repeat junior. I was not proud because of my acceptance, but because of the journey it took to get here. The adversity of me not initially being accepted made that moment much more rewarding. If I were accepted at first, I would have probably taken my opportunity for granted. I wouldn't have taken pride in my classes, gone out of my way to form connections, or even worked as hard on the court. This experience has taught me a multitude of things, but the biggest being that there's only two ways to handle adversity. You can either let it break you or let it build you. Counting your losses as lessons will always change the outcome of your future. This has not only changed my outlook on coming to Suffield, but my outlook on everything in my life. When we lose a game we could have won, or I perform worse than expected, I use the adversity to teach myself a lesson. I analyze my mistakes so that I can do what is needed for the next game. It's always hard in the moment to realize that your pain will turn to power, but it's the self-reflection and then action that makes the difference. I always try to take a step back and see things in a different light so that I can take 2 steps forward. I learned the hard way that nothing is given and that for what we want, we must put in the work. To Mr. Atkins, thank you for believing in me and taking a chance on me. You forced me to change my perspective and raise my standard to excellence. To my teammates and coaches, thank you for always helping me through my adversity and allowing me to help you through yours. I love you guys like my family, and I can't say that I have been on a team that has helped me grow as much as you all. Thank you for helping me truly become more. Thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of your afternoon.